Hello everyone, my name's Nick, and today I'm going to show you how to operate and maybe to show off a little bit of the Caterpillar D4K Series 2 small dozer. This is not a brand new dozer. I've had this going on 2 years now, but it is a representation of the newest dozer out on the market. So if you went to a cat dealership, you can find this in one of their lots. The dozer I'm in today is a LGP series. LGP stands for low ground pressure, and that means exactly what it means. It means it has less weight on the ground compared to a traditional version of this, such as the XL model. Some of the features that makes it an LGP are the wider tracks. I'm not exactly sure on the exact width of them. I'm not going to guess because I'll probably get it wrong. You can go to the CAT site and find out for yourself. And that also means a wider blade. The blade itself is about a little over 10 feet. I believe the regular one is only about 8 feet. So it's a little bit wider, which means it has less pressure on the ground, which makes it great for grading and also on soft soil conditions such as sand or mud. And it also means I can not tear up the ground so much when turning around. As you can see to the right of me, that is after I've graded over top of it. Right now we are right on the boundary of Plainfield and Avon, Indiana. I don't know exactly the city limits. I think I'm in Avon, not exactly sure, but I know I'm close. Right now we are prepping a site for a large warehouse, similar to the one you can see to the left there. So we're basically right now where I'm at. This is going to be the floor of one of two warehouse buildings, and as you can see, the excavator and haul trucks are moving the bulk of the dirt, and I am going to be keeping grade for the excavator behind him. As you can see with those poles sitting on my blade, I am also GPS 3D equipped, meaning I have a virtual digital GPS system installed that basically turns a 2D blueprint of the job into a 3D image, and then is turned into my dozer, and my dozer can actually grade semi-autonomously the grade that I want depending on the site I'm on. For example, right now, as you can see on the bottom screen, I have it set to -1 foot below finished grade, which means I am cutting 1 foot below than what the final grade of the floor of this building is going to be, to make sure that we have all the subgrade set, all the stone can be placed, and finally the concrete poured. How does that work? Basically, well, if you look to the right here, this yellow button where my thumb's at, if I press that, you can see that on the bottom left, the blade will move automatically and go to the exact elevation that I want it to be grading at, which is -1 foot. Now if I go forward, the blade will stay exactly at that elevation unless it changes on the screen. And basically as I move, the blade will move and make sure it'll stay exactly the way it is. This allows me to keep grade at a very accurate level. I believe my accuracy right now is at 0.03, which means I am accurate within 0.03 of a foot. The D4K Series 2, as you can see, has gotten rid of all of its analog gauges, dials, and has replaced them all with a digital screen. This digital screen basically gives me all the information, such as fuel level, DEF fluid levels, water temperature, hydraulic fluid temperature, slope, engine hours, etc. I can also get into more detailed information, such as settings, displays, your total numbers, your increments, service codes, all that fun stuff, as well as other performance information such as oil pressure, engine temperature, battery voltage, all that sort of stuff. This dozer is also equipped with what they call a slope assist feature. The slope assist has a built-in sensor that can actually tell what angle the blade is sitting at, and when the blade moves, as you can see on the screen, the angles change on my display as well, showing me where my blade is at. Now with GPS, that's not too important, since the GPS will take over and do all the angles and different types of elevations for me. But in situations where I don't have GPS, or if I'm in an area where the GPS is not working such as, you know, too far away or too high, too low, etc. I can use that slope feature to help me grade slopes or just maintain a certain grade. And I'll show you a good example on this bank right here. This bank I just eyeballed basically because right now we're not done with the cut. We're just making a small ramp for other vehicles to get up and down into. But if this has to be a certain elevation or a certain grade, as you can see as I place my grade down, it's showing me I have a 20% grade. 20% is a 5-to-1 slope, meaning every 5 feet it goes across, it falls 1 foot. I can actually program it with the slope assist feature to hold that elevation, and if I didn't have GPS, that blade, when turned on, will actually stay at that 5-to-1 slope no matter the position of the machine. So if you were thinking about having this little dozer but you can't afford the GPS, you can still get the slope assist feature built into the machine and still do it by hand, while also this tool gives you a little bit of an edge. Basically, this is a great little dozer if you are doing finish grades, such as topsoiling, doing minor cuts, such as right here, grading stone, sand. It's not really good for your heavier duty stuff, such as your very rocky, very tough terrain. It just doesn't have the weight nor the power to do so, but for its size, I've actually been very surprised about how well this little machine handles. I was actually in a D6N wide track before this, and I was surprised about going to a smaller dozer and having so much power behind it. This thing can actually move a lot of dirt relative to its size, and I was actually very pleasantly surprised. I've also run D4Cs and even a D5G before this, and I can tell you right now, and I'm not promoting Caterpillar in any way, that this runs circles around older dozers. They've increased the power, increased the torque, and have made this dozer a little powerhouse basically. As you can see, I've used my GPS to catch grade up to the excavator in front of me, and that way I can keep it looking nice and clean and good looking. As for some of the cons, there are a few. As you can hear probably, it still rattles. It is a bulldozer, it shakes, it rattles. There's a lot of things that have probably been shaken loose since the time I've gotten it. And it gets a little noisy in the cab, which is one of the downfalls in my opinion. Another downfall is on the undercarriage, the tracks, the rollers, the entire chassis system. It's pretty light duty compared to the rest of the size of the dozer. Even though it's not designed for heavy duty work, they do wear out pretty quickly. And I do warn people, if you're going to get a dozer like this, make sure you check if all the parts are installed inside the track, because we've had an issue where someone on the factory decided to forget a few things, and it kind of backfired for us. But overall, if you're looking for a small little dozer with a lot of power, great for simple grading, simple keeping up with work, this little dozer is great in my opinion. As for operating, it's pretty simple. You have your forward and reverse lever here. You push forward to go forward, reverse, left, right. And it's a hydrostatic dozer, which means it's hydraulic driven, no transmission. Both final drives in the rear are powered by your hydraulic fluid, so you don't have to worry about, if I'm sitting in neutral, it is not going to go anywhere because there is no hydraulic flow. You get your horn, and this is your cruise speed set. I very rarely use that. This is your gear select. It has a max range of a 0.01 gear at its lowest range, which is super slow but super powerful, and a max at a 3.2 gear forward and a 3.5 gear reverse, which is pretty fast for a small little dozer, but in reality I think that's only about 8 miles an hour, I think. On your right hand side you got your blade control. The yellow button, if you have GPS equipped, that activates the GPS. If it's not equipped, that is your blade shake to loosen dirt. The right side is your GPS increment controls. Basically I can go up or down and change the GPS settings. And if that's not equipped, it doesn't do anything else. Now if you had a non-GPS dozer that didn't have GPS equipped at all, you can actually get a hydraulic blade pitch control similar to a grader installed and use that to adjust the pitch of your blade. But since it's a GPS, you can't do that. You only got one pedal. This is your decelerator / brake pedal. On the left hand side, you got your climate control, your fan control, temperature, air conditioning, and then on the right hand side you got your lights, your parking brake, traction control, hand warmers, throttle, and at the top you got your mirror, your windshield wiper controls, and then your radio, Bluetooth obviously. And it's pretty simple. It's a fairly straightforward dozer. It didn't take me very long to actually get the hang of it, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, I've had it almost 2 years now. I wish it was a little cleaner, but it's life of a dozer, I guess. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give people who may be interested in getting a small dozer or just curious on how one works a little bit of an insight on the job. So I have to get back to work now because I think I'm falling behind talking too much. But with this little guy, I believe I can catch up pretty quickly. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Again, I'm not endorsing this for Caterpillar in any way. I'm just, giving my own personal opinion. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.